Hello everyone. First, I'd like to apologize for not making any videos here recently, but I've been very busy. Today's topic is what I consider to be the single most persistent fallacy within economic thought. Now, for those of you who have studied economics, you might be quick to yell out, the broken window fallacy, but this is not what I'm going to talk about here. No, what I'm going to talk about here is the idea that within the realm of supply and demand, one is absolutely prior to the other. That is, that one is at the total mercy of the other. According to Keynesian thought, consumer spending is the entire weight of the economy. Wealth travels in a circular flow, and if the flow of spending shrinks, then the government must make up the difference in spending to keep the economy afloat. This idea, and the broken window fallacy, stem from the idea that supply is at the absolute beck and call of demand. The Keynesians, and many people even outside of economic thought, believe that without demand, supply can possibly come into existence. This fallacy has been the central contributor to a laundry list of other fallacies within economic thought. The first mistake that this proposal makes is that it neglects to undertake a thorough analysis of how man satisfies his demands. For example, say that I decide that I'm hungry. What do I demand? I demand food to satisfy my hunger. How can I go about attaining the food that I demand? I would walk into the kitchen and cook myself something to eat. In the case of cooking, first I would need the food that I'm going to eat, then I would need a plate or a bowl to place the food in, I would need a spoon or a fork, and I would need the means to cook the food in question, that is a stove/microwave, a pot or a pan, and the labor to actually cook the food. Everything I just listed would be required to satisfy the simple demand of satisfying my hunger, but what if I don't have any of these factors? A Keynesian would say, well, demand would make you improvise, but improvisation directly implies using other environmental/personal factors, that is supply, to attain a chosen end, that is demand. If I don't have any of the factors of production listed above, that doesn't stop me in and of itself from satisfying my hunger. I can simply go out to eat, but then that imposes more problems. First, I would need the means to get to the place I'm going to eat at, either a car or a bike, or the money to pay to ride the bus. Then, I would need the money to pay for my meal. If I didn't have those things either, then I would starve to death unless I decide to steal, but even in the case of stealing, I would need the skill to steal the money or food, and I would need the means of getting away safely long enough to employ the goods stolen in order to satisfy my demand. Without supply, demand goes unsatisfied. Now, in saying all of this, I am in no way discounting the importance of demand, but what I am saying is that simply throwing supply under the bus by saying that demand is absolutely prior is a fallacy that must be corrected. The reality is that supply and demand work synergetically with each other in order to help man attain definite ends. It is supply that man uses to act, and to satisfy his chosen ends. Now, someone might challenge me by saying, well, man wouldn't act without demand, but this point is moot because demand is the motivation behind an action, not the action itself. Any approach that doesn't treat supply and demand as equal, synergetic principles, can only be problematic rather than productive, because any economy built on those approaches will not have a stable foundation, and is doomed to face very severe problems in the future. The major point that I'm making here is that demand doesn't create supply out of thin air. Pre-existing supply must be utilized to create, and to satisfy the chosen end of the individual, that is his demand, and all economic thought must bear this within its core, or else it will implode at a later time. That is all. Thank you.